What's up, everybody? Welcome to lesson 2. This is where we're interpreting division as a fraction. Excuse me, sorry about that. This is for module 4 now that we're on. And what we're going to start to think about is fractions and the division behind it and what that means. And so we're going to be thinking today in terms of crackers. What you're thinking about crackers. And let's begin. Imagine that we have 2 crackers. Delicious crackers right there. And if I was going to share those crackers and I was going to give them to 2 people, how much would each person get? Well, this cracker would go to this person, and this cracker would go to this person, and each person would get 1 whole cracker. That's what they would eat, right? And I can put that as a expression, a numerical expression. I can see I have 2 crackers. I'm going to divide it by 2, and each person would get 1 cracker, right? So imagine that instead of that, imagine that we only have 1 cracker to give to our 2 people. What would we do? How much would each person get? Well, you would have to cut that cracker in half first, right? And each person, this person here would take this half, and this guy would get this 1/2, putting it right on their face. And this person would get this half cracker, and so we would take that 1 cracker, and we would divide it by our 2 people, and each person would get 1/2. Cool. And my 1 goes up there, right? And my 2 goes down there. Interesting, right? Okay. What if we did the same thing with 1 cracker, but this time we invited a friend along, and this person, she wants a cracker too, and so I would have to take my 1 cracker, and I'm dividing it amongst 3 people now, and so I would have to zip zip, and I would get 1/3. Cool. Starting to see maybe a pattern, right? Maybe there's a sequence here that's coming along. What if I went ahead and I had 2 crackers, and I still had those 3 people? What would I do with those 2 crackers? Now I have 2 crackers, and I want to divide it by 3 people. Well, I would need to first begin and take my crackers and break them up into 3 pieces. So maybe if I did this here, and I did this here, and each person would get, well, let's see, let's try this. This one here, this would go down to this guy. So there's 1 for you. That's 1. And this one here goes to you, and this one here goes to you. Awesome. And 1 what? How many did I just cut that cracker? This is my 1 whole cracker here. This is 1 cracker, and this is another cracker. Together we have 2. How many did I just cut this cracker into? Just put it into 3 pieces, right? So this would be 1/3. And so this person would get 1/3, and this person would get 1/3, and this person would get 1/3, right? And over here, same thing. I would take this third, and I would send it over to this guy. You get those 2, right? And this one will go here, and this one will go over here, along with these ones, who also went to other places. And total, then, each person, they would end up getting how many pieces of cracker? Well, they would end up getting 2 pieces, right? They would end up getting 2 of them. And the size of those pieces would be in thirds. So each person would get 2 thirds, right? 1/3 and 2/3. That would be 2 thirds. Okay. Now let's take a look at another option. Let's take a look at 3 crackers, and we're just going to give them. We're going to bring back just our original 2 people, and so I have my 3 crackers, and I'm going to give them to 2 people. There's a couple different ways you can go about looking at this one. If I'm giving them into 2 people and dividing them by 2, I could just go ahead and cut each cracker in half, right? And then each person would get, well, I could give one to this one and one. So you get, each person would get, you get one here, and you get one there, and you get one from that one. So you would get, and I could just split them in half here, and I could say you get these ones and you get these ones. And these are halves, right? Cut those in halves. And so then these would be halves down here as well, right? And gave these ones, well, that's a 2, it is. And so maybe I gave these 3 to this Yahoo here, and I gave these 3 to this cracker loving person right here, and 1/2 and 1/2 and 1/2. That's great. Hey, cool. So how many total halves did they have? I have 1, 2. I have 3 halves. Huh? 3 halves. 3 divided by 2. 3 divided by 2. Awesome. 3 divided by 2, well, how many total is that? This would be 1 whole cracker here, plus I'd have a half, right? So I end up with really with 1 and 1/2 a cracker. The other way you could go about looking at that is if I did have my 3 crackers and my 2 people, here they are again, and I had my 3 crackers, and I'm dividing them up into 2. I could just take this 1 cracker here, couldn't I? And this guy gets this cracker, and that would leave me with this one here. Each person got a whole of 1 cracker. That's 1 and that's 1. I each got 1. And then I had this guy left over. I'd just snap it in half, right? This half will go here, and this half will go to this guy. And so each of them would get 1 1/2 crackers. So I could think about it as far as that goes too. What I want to focus on now is remember when we took and I had the 3 crackers, and then the 2 people, and instead of just giving 1, we just cut all of the crackers in half first and then divvied them up. That's what I want to think about now. We're going to have ourselves 4 crackers, and I'm going to have 2 people. Okay, and those 4 crackers, how many would each person get if I just had 4 crackers and 2 people? Each person will get 2 crackers, right? We'll take these 2 here, and I give them to this guy. Take these 2 here and give them to this guy. That would be fair, wouldn't it? Altogether, they would have 2. But let's pretend that I'm going to give these guys, each cracker is going to be an individual flavor. They're all going to be different flavors of crackers. There's all kinds of crackers out there. And I'm not going to get crazy and give them fancy names. I'm just going to call them flavor 1, flavor 2, flavor 3, and flavor 4. And let's say that these guys, well, they love crackers, and they each wanted to try some. They don't want to miss out on a new flavor. So they each want to try some of these crackers. Well, we would have to do like we did, and we would have to cut each of them in half first, and then divvy them up so that this person is going to get 1 from each group. This person's going to get 1 from the flavored 1, 1 from the flavored 2, and 1 from the flavored 3, and 1 from the flavored 4. When I say 1, I mean each person is going to get 1 of these. So this one, the half. Okay, so this one's a half, and that's a half, and that's a half, and that's a half, right? And over here, this person is also going to get the same setup. They're each going to get 1/2 of a cracker in each one. A 1, a 2, a flavor 3, and a flavor 4, right? And that's going to make sure that everybody does it. So, so if I look at that, then how many halves are there in all? How many halves are there in all? I had 4 crackers. I cut them each in half, and I have 2, 4, 6. I would have 8 halves of crackers, right? And I'm dividing them up amongst my 2 people. And how many would they each get? They would each get 4 halves, right? So 4 divided by 2 equals 4 halves, right? 4 halves altogether, and that's 4 halves, that's 1 cracker, that's 2. So altogether they ate 2 crackers, didn't they? But in order to do this, we had to cut them up before we divvied them up. And that's going to be an important thing. We originally started with 4 halves. Okay. And then let's try, so we had 4 halves. Let's try something here. And let's take 5 crackers and let's divide them by 2. Let's do the same thing we just did, but instead of with 4, I want to do 5. 3, 4. They're different flavors. They're also different shapes. They're different kinds of crackers. Okay, and flavor 1, flavor 2, flavor 3, flavor 4, and flavor 5. And here's my 2 people. You know, it could be 2 boys. This could be 2 girls. Who cares? And we're going to do the same thing. They're all different flavors. They each want to have some of them. So, like we said, we need to go ahead and break them in half first. And then imagine you put them out. Each of these guys could come over, and they could each take their own cracker. Each of them is going to take a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Right? They're each going to get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. And if you had to, you could draw out the little pieces of crackers so you could visualize that. But each of them got those, and those are halves, right? So how many total halves did we start out with? I'm going to look up here. How many total halves did I begin with? Did I divide? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 10 halves, and I divided them by 2 people, and I got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 halves, right? So I have my 5 divided by 2, 5 halves, right? 5 halves. If I did that, that would be, if I made this into a mixed number, I would have 2 total crackers, and I would still have a half left, right? Or 2.5. 2.5 crackers, okay. So what I want you to notice is, when we do this, when we do our division, we kind of get like a dividing sign, don't we? Like the division sign really is like a fraction, isn't it? You know, you have something on top and something on bottom. 5 divided by 2 equals 5 halves, right? Let's test something here. Let's try something. What is was 1 divided by 5? 1/5, right? What's 1 divided by 7? 1/7, right? What is 3 divided by 7? 3/7, right? What is 3 divided by 8? 3/8. You're getting good at this. You're getting so good. What is 3 divided by... Oh, I'm jumping ahead of myself. What's 3 divided by 10? 3/10. What would 3 divided by 100 be? 3/100. Excellent. Okay. So, as you're doing this, as you're thinking about this, I really want to just recap. I really want you to think about, what you're beginning with. And if you're having 2 people here, what you're beginning with is you're starting off with taking your wholes and you're cutting them up before you divide them up, right? And that's going to make you kind of understand a little bit better. But here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 halves, and I have 6 halves, and I'm going to divide that by 2. Uniform, and you guys will be fine. You'll be great. Post any questions you have, and thanks for watching. Check you later.